Yo, what's going on, Dragon Ballers? Welcome back to another video. This time we're talking about the Dr. Uiro Uiro cards that are coming out in set 8. This might be the one Dragon Ball movie I haven't seen because I saw Dr. Uiro. I saw that's the English name, but if you have any suggestions for how to pronounce the Japanese name, please let me know in the comments below. But yeah, I don't think I've ever seen this movie because the character was completely unfamiliar to me. So with that being said, guys, we'll talk about it. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with awesome Dragon Ball Super content that I post here. Looking for a Dragon Ball Super community to get plugged in with, make sure to check out the Discord in the description below. And finally, guys, want to help the channel out? 2 ways you can do that. Number 1, check out the Patreon in the description below. Lots of competitive content there. Number 2, want to pre-order your set 8 stuff or buy any of the cards you see here, make sure to use my link to TCG Player in the description below. I'm going to break this one up. I'm not going to go over all the blue-green cards in this video because I felt like the baby one was a bit too long going over all the red-yellows. So we'll go with it. 3-drop, Kaioken Son Goku, Strenuous Onslaught. This guy lets you take 1 or 2 life. He gets a 5,000 power boost. Then at the start of your opponent's next turn, you get to untap any energy and switch to active mode. So this card's okay. I kind of wish blue just got like a Digging Deep Vegeta because those types of staples like Sankaba or Digging Deep for all the different colors I think are pretty important for handling certain matchups. So I kind of wish it was just that. This card is decent, kind of like a 2-drop 20k, but you do have to pay 3 for it initially. So not the best card in my opinion, but it's decent. Son Goku the Rescuer, I kind of like how they're doing all these free play cards for all the different colors, helps with a little bit of aggression. So 3-drop auto, when a battle card is returned to a player's hand by a skill, if Son Goku the Rescuer isn't in play in your battle area, you may play this card from your hand, activate main, pay a blue, send this card from your drop area to your warp, choose up to one of your blue battle cards with energy cost of 3 or less, or up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 3 or less, and return it to the owner's hand. So they're playing with like some fluty type of effects here. I mean, we saw Desperate Measures in the draft box, which can trigger this card, but they are messing around with flute type effects here. They're keeping it balanced though. They're making it cost energy. They're only letting you bounce blue battle cards, so it should be fine. It's a little scary though. It should be fine. We'll move right past the Android 21 stuff. Son Gohan calling for help. 1-drop. When you play this card, look at the 5 cards on top of your deck. Choose 1 blue or green Son Goku or Piccolo among them, add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. From what I remember from this stuff, there's not too many great Piccolos, but there are a good amount of Gokus that you are going to want to search with this guy. So we're going to skip right along the Android 21 stuff. And Krillin the Cunning, another one of those floodgate type of cards that I really just don't want to see in the game. Someone actually brought up a good point that it would have been really good against Super Shenron, but I mean, it's a little bit too late for that now, right? Master Roshi, Masterly Majesty, 1-drop, 5k combo. Choose 1 multicolor card in your energy and return it to the owner's hand. When you combo this card, choose 1 card in your hand, place it in your energy in rest mode. So I want to explain one thing real quick first. So the auto might sound weirdly worded, so I'm going to explain it real quick. Choose 1 multicolor card in your energy and return it to its owner's hand, colon. So anything before the colon is the cost of the effect. So when you combo this card, that's when the effect triggers. That's when the auto triggers, and you have to meet the cost before resolving the rest of the effect. So the cost would be choosing a multicolor card in your energy and returning it to the owner's hand when you combo this card. After you resolve the cost, which you have to do in order to resolve the effect, you can do the rest of the effect. The rest of the effect says choose 1 card in your hand and place it in your energy and rest mode. This is something I noticed that Bandai's been doing recently. They've been cleaning up card text so we can, identify costs and things like that. So I just wanted to give that quick little explanation. This card in particular, don't see a great usage for it. Like, it doesn't even bring the energy in active mode, so like you don't really get a big benefit out of comboing with it. But I guess if it did bring energy in active mode, it would be just as busted as Unyielding Spirit Trunks, so we don't necessarily want that. I don't see the usage for it. If you do, definitely let me know in the comments below. We'll keep going here. Moving along, lots of Android 21 stuff that I will talk about eventually. Dr. Uiro Destruction Beam. So this is an SR out of the set. 6-drop blocker deflect auto. When you play this card, choose 1 of the following effects. One of them is place the top 6 cards of your deck under a Dr. Uiro's lab in your battle area, or you can choose up to 6 cards in your drop area and place them under a Dr. Uiro's lab in your battle area. So we'll see the leader later on, but basically one of his effects is if you have 17 or more cards under the field spell, you win the game. This card puts a lot of things under that. You can get to this as early as turn 4 if you're playing a really heavy ramp build, which I think this deck might want to do. We have obviously Objection. We also have the new Android 16 coming out. I'll talk about that later on in the Android 21 video. The other auto of this card is once returned, when this card activates blocker, switch it to active mode. So you get 2 big beefy blocks out of this guy. I am really happy he has no barrier, so he is removable by skills. Deflect on this card is pretty good because this is a big investment for the Dr. Uiro deck to make. So I think this is warranted for Deflect. Obviously, you can still just chomp the Trickster it because that gets around Deflect. I think this card's very well balanced. The fact that it does not have removal is fine, so that's really good. Dr. Uiro's lab itself, field, permanent. Your battle cards cannot be switched to rest mode by your opponent's skills. This might seem like a really low impact effect, but this is actually super good, especially with all the monkeys flying around right now. Super popular in the format right now. You're definitely going to want this effect on this card, and you can only use blue or green card skills to place cards under this card. There was like a card you could put 5 cards under it with like a 3-drop red card, but luckily that's balanced away. Permanent, this card cannot be removed from a battle area by your opponent's skills. So the green Vegeta or the green Piccolo that remove things from the battle area, field spells from the battle area, are not going to work on this. Activate main, pay 2 colorless, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and their cost of 4 or less, and place it under this card. So you're gonna have to kind of dictate where you want to spend your energy. You are a blue based deck, so you do have energy manipulation, but like I said, yeah, you want to probably use energy to ramp in this deck. You want to use energy to take your opponent's battle cards. You want to use energy to play the other cards that we'll talk about in this video. So moving along, we've got the next Uiro card being the Son Goku Kaioken leader. Probably a much better Kaioken leader than the other one was. But when this card attacks a leader card, draw 1, auto once per turn. When one of your battle cards activates Revive, draw 1. So typically with Revive, we've talked about it in other videos, you're going to pitch 1 multicolor card to bring back your battle card. This leader will draw that card back for you. So that makes Revive really free, which is really strong. Awaken, if it likes 4 or less, draw 1, untap 1, flip this card over. Kaioken Son Goku, Turning the Tide. Auto, when this card attacks, draw 1. Auto once per turn. When one of your battle cards activates Revive, draw 2. That is pretty insane. Now you're plussing on Revive, so you have to somehow make your opponent KO your cards with Revive, which is not the easiest thing to do, so it's not busted, but it is the thing. Activate main once per turn. Choose one of your blue-green multicolor cards in rest mode until the start of your next main phase. As long as the chosen card's in rest mode, your opponent can't attack leader cards. So this doesn't specifically say it, but I'm assuming it only recognizes battle cards if they're in the battle area, not in like your energy area, so you can't just choose like a rested energy and expect to not get your leader attacked. This almost turns like any of your blue-green battle cards into a deadly defender, and if they have Revive, you're just going to be really plussing hard off of that. So they'll probably, KO one of your Revive targets, you'll draw 2, then they can attack your leader, but you'll have a lot more cards to defend yourself with. Yeah, I like this leader a lot, so one of the ones that I will definitely be experimenting with. Dr. Uiro and Dr. Kochin. When you play this card in your leader area, you get the field spell from the deck. When this card attacks a leader card, look up 7 cards at the top of your deck. Choose 1 Frenzied Warrior among them, add it to your hand, and shuffle your deck. Awaken, when you have 4 or more energy. If your life's at 3 or less, you may choose 2 of your energy. Switch them to active mode, flip this card over. Untap 2 is really good for this leader. Like I said, there's a lot of things you want to spend energy on, especially the field spell to absorb battle cards. When this card attacks, draw 1, activate main once per turn, choose 1 card in your hand, place it in the drop area, choose up to 1 keyword skill on one of your opponent's battle cards, and negate it for the duration of the turn. So this is actually really solid. I mean, you use the leader effect, you pitch it, get rid of barrier, then your field spell can suck up any battle card you want. That's really strong. Activate main, if the field spell has 17 or more cards under it, you win the game. That's pretty lame, I guess, but it doesn't seem like too consistent. I mean, there's tons of ramp hate, and if they're not ramping, I don't think they're really going to be able to resolve that efficiently. Moving through the 21 stuff here, a lot of really good cards I'm excited to talk about, but we have to get through all the Uiro cards. So, Frenzied Warrior Piccolo, 4-drop, 20k. Deflect, Auto, Bond 3. When you play this card, choose 1 effect. Your opponent chooses 2 cards from their hand and places them under your field spell. Your opponent chooses 2 cards from their hand and sends them to the warp. So I believe there's a way to drop this guy's cost, which we'll see in a bit. But as far as 4-drops go, I mean, a 4-drop that makes the opponent ditch 2, it's almost like green just got a foreseeing hit, but it's not quite that good because, it does require Bond 3, which can take a lot. Dr. Uiro, A Fiendish Scheme, 1-drop, 4k. When you play this card, draw 1. Auto, pay a green, choose this card and 1 green card in your hand and place them in the owner's drop areas. When your opponent's card attacks, negate the attack. So that's pretty good. I mean, this works against something like Gogeta 7 where you pay a green to negate the attack after this thing just sits on the board. Like, are they really going to spend a Gogeta 5 to get rid of this? Maybe if you don't have any other threats, but your goal is probably going to be to produce other threats, right? Dr. Kochin, the Nefarious Scientist, permanent, only one can be played in your battle area, and reduce the energy cost of all Frenzied Warrior cards in your hand by 1. So that will get rid of the, that will reduce the Piccolo's cost. Auto, when you play this card, look up 7 cards from the top of your deck, choose 1 Frenzied Warrior among them, add it to your hand, shuffle your deck, then choose 1 Frenzied Warrior card in your hand with energy cost 2 or less, and play it. So we'll have to see what other Frenzied Warriors that are 3 drops that get reduced to 2 drops or less. 1 drop, auto, when you play this card, place top card deck under a Uiro's lab, then draw 1 card. So this is a Frenzied Warrior you can play with the Kochin we just read. The super combo, which is also a Frenzied Warrior, you can search it, which is pretty strong. Then we have Miso Katsune, Living Weapon. Man, that was probably awful. 2 drop, blocker, 5k. When this card activates blocker, place top card of your deck under a Dr. Uiro's lab in your battle area, and this card can't be KO'd in battle by battle cards with an original power of 15,000 or less. So it's almost like the yellow 2-drop blocker from the Universe 11 deck. I forget which one it is, but pretty strong. I mean, it's just value. Like, you get to put a card under your field spell, and then you get to have a battle card survive a small attack. So that's pretty good value. Bioman, Living Weapon. When you play this card, look up 7 cards top of your deck, choose 1 Dr. Uiro or Dr. Kochin among them, add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. This seems like the ideal turn 1 play you really want. I also want to point out that it doesn't seem like Dr. Uiro, this whole archetype, wants to charge multicolor turn 1 unless you're trying to play counter plays, which you probably aren't. I don't think you really want to be doing that. So moving along, Rise of Dr. Uiro. When you activate this card, you cannot activate another one for the duration of the turn. Activate main if your leader card is a Dr. Uiro. Look it up to 5 cards on top of your deck. Choose up to 1 Dr. Uiro or Dr. Kochin among them, add it to your hand, then shuffle your deck. If you added a card to your hand, choose up to 1 of your green energy, switch to active mode. So another consistency card that we've seen before in the Majin Buu archetype. I think Yellow Pan also got it. And what this does, or I think it's Yellow Vegeta Baby, but this card is weird, right? It's another extra card where you don't want to clunk too much on them, but it's a great turn 1 play because you get to look at the top 5, you get to untap an energy, do another turn 1 play. So it's a weird balance, like where you might only want to run like 2 or 3 of this card, not too many, so that you don't clunk. Dr. Uiro's Revival, permanent. This card gains desire in all areas. Activate main if your leader card is green. Choose 1 Dr. Uiro card in your drop area with energy cost of 4 or less and play it. This is what's weird to me. Like, they're printing a whole ton of these desire cards without printing archetypal leaders, wish leaders for this. I really wonder why they're putting desire on all these cards, but yeah, I mean, it's an extra card that allows you to revive Dr. Uiro's in archetypes, so that's pretty good. You know, cheat out a 4-drop Dr. Uiro on turn 3. That can be pretty solid. Focus Breakthrough, counterplay. If your leader card's green, your life's 4 or less. If the battle card being played has an energy cost of 3 or less, it's placed into owner's drop area instead of being played. Permanent, if you have a multicolor card in your energy and your life's at 4 or less, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand by adding a card from your life to your hand instead of paying its energy cost. I really wonder why they decided to only let these things work at a 4 or less life total, especially when you give it that take life ability. You're just cutting your life further, and that can feel bad sometimes, but it can definitely be useful. So what we'll do now is we'll go to the dual color cards for these archetypes. And here we are for red green. I do want to talk about this one because I don't know if there's a better place to slot it in. Raditz Arrival the Invader. This card's bananas. 4-drop, 20k. It's a 1 energy 5k combo. Energy exhaust. If you have a red green multicolor card in your energy, reduce the combo cost of this card in your hand in battle area by 1. So just by charging a red green, you get a free 5k dual color combo. One of the things I never thought would happen with dual colors, but they decided to do it, I guess, to buff red green a little bit. And that basically allows you to arrival for 1 card without paying energy. That's bananas. When you play this card, your opponent reveals their hand. Then you choose 1 battle card in their hand with 35,000 power or less, send it to the owner's warp. This card gains crit for the duration of the turn. This card, in my opinion, is going to be a red-green staple for a very long time, and I don't think it really does anything to help out the Raditz archetype, as sad as it is. I mean, they just don't really have like arrivals you want to be abusing with this, but I mean, I guess it works. Son Goku, Energy Salvo, 3-drop, 15k, 1 10k combo, Energy Exhaust, only 1 if you play in your battle area. Activate battle if you have a red-green multicolor card in your energy. Choose 1 of your red or green battle cards with energy cost 3 or less and place it in the owner's drop area. Play this card from your hand in rest mode. Then choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 1 and KO it. So a little bit of mid-battle interruption, especially if your opponent has a 1-drop that you want to KO, can be pretty decent. Moving down to the Uiro and Goku dual colors. at any point here. Talked about all the Vegeta baby stuff already. So we've got the first one being Son Goku, Spirit of the Planet. Super interesting card, right? 2-drop energy exhaust, blue green, revive blue green. So we talked about it before. If it gets KO'd, you pitch a blue green card to revive it. That's going to obviously trigger your Kaioken leader. Permanent, you cannot play this card from any area with skills other than revive blue green. So you can't like wish it out, for example, or like assemble the squad it, which is really good. Activate battle once per turn, blue green. This card gets plus 10,000 power and triple strike for the duration of the turn. So in theory, if you're playing the Kaioken leader, this thing goes to rest mode. Your opponent has to deal with it, especially if you're on your awakened side. And every turn it comes back, it's not an additional energy investment. So you can just use the blue green to make it a super big threat. Eventually your opponent will run out of negates and you'll be golden. I like this card a lot. Really strong. Son, Gohan, and Piccolo, Pupil and Master. 3-drop, 15k, barrier, revive blue green. When this card attacks, your opponent chooses one card in their hand and places it in the drop area. So another search target for that 1-drop Gohan. Really strong. Android 17, Protector of Wildlife. Definitely a card you're going to want to play in the Kaioken version of the deck because it's the free blue-green charge. The onboard auto is also really good. Once per game, basically. That has to be the first card they combo, but you'll always resolve it. You have to knock the combo out of their combo area the first time they do it. That's really strong. Gigantic Bomber, Dr. Uiro. 3-drop, again, revive. I think this is the only blue-green card you're going to play in the Dr. Uiro deck. I could be wrong. Auto, when you play this card, choose up to 2 battle cards in your opponent's drop area and place those cards under this card or a Dr. Uiro's lab in your battle area. So again, you're getting that win condition of getting the cards under the field spell. Madness Wand, Dr. Cochin, 2-drop. This, I guess you'd also play this card in the deck as well. Blocker, 5k, revive blue green. Choose one card in your hand, place it under a Dr. Uiro's lab in your battle area. When you play this card, draw 1. So it allows you to cycle a little bit, but every time you bring it back, you're going to have to get rid of a card in your hand, so you might run out of resources relatively quickly. This card might not be the mainstay in all of the Dr. Uiro decks, but it could be good. So guys, overall, that's the Dr. Uiro archetype. Seems pretty much control oriented, I guess. You know, obviously you want to ramp up to get to that 17 cards in the field spell. But it doesn't really seem to be like you have too many other ways to win the game. Like no really big threats unless you splash in some other really good blue-green boss monsters. The Kaioken deck looks really cool. I'm really excited for that one, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.